If you had a magic lamp and a genie was to grant you one wish, what would you wish for? You would wish for like more wishes. That would be like the hack, right? Mm-hmm. If I was a learning genie and I could help anyone learn just one subject or one skill, Mandarin, martial arts, music, marketing, anything, what would you want to learn? And the answer along the lines of asking for more wishes, well, if I could learn anything, it'd be learning how to learn. Because if I can learn how to learn, I can apply that towards anything. The average person opens up Instagram 150 times a day, but that's by design. So if you're picking up the phone the first thing in the morning, the challenge is a number of reasons. This is a challenge. First of all, there are these 4 primary brainwave states. Beta is what you and I are in right now, we're awake. Delta is when you're fast asleep. In between those 2 states, theta and alpha, are extremely important brainwave states for learning. So theta is the state right in and out of sleep. Theta is the state that we call creativity. When you are your most creative, usually it's coming because you're in this theta state. You know what puts you in that theta state? Are showers. You ever notice like when you're in the shower, you come up with some of your best ideas? A big part of my work is taking the invisible and making it visible. Like when I do these demonstrations, I always tell people that I do it because I want you to see that there's a method behind the magic. That when somebody does something that's extraordinary in athletics, in education, in technology, with the human body, there's always a trail, because genius leaves clues. They teach you 3 R's in school: reading, writing, arithmetic. But what about remembering? What about recall? What about retention? Right? Socrates says there is no learning without remembering. And that's really the basis of it all. Knowing you're in this alpha theta state first thing in the morning, you're very suggestible, right? And if the first thing you're picking up is your phone, then that really is rewiring our brain. And so the first thing, don't touch your phone because it's training you to be distracted. The second thing it's training you for, which is almost worse, I don't know if it's worse, being punched in the face, kicked in the stomach, I don't know. But the second thing that's worse is it's training you, rewiring your brain to be reactive, meaning that you're in this relaxed state of awareness when you first wake up. You pick up your phone, you get one text with bad news, or one voicemail, or one email, and this all happened to us. You're in a bad mood for the rest of your day because you're so impressionable. You're in that hypnotic state, and it affects you. And you can never have a quality life, with that, and be the best version of ourselves, be an elite mental performer or high performer when you're responding and reacting to everybody else. And that's why mindfulness is so important, whether it's meditation or something else, because it's not that I don't meditate every single day just to be at peace and be in the Zen state. I do it because it's a mental exercise. It improves my cognitive capabilities, meaning that when my mind goes somewhere else, that's the opportunity. So I pull it back with my breath or visualization. I built that muscle. Because here's really the basis of my work is really about taking nouns and turning them into verbs. So what do I mean by that? It's like so many people, they wake up and say, oh, I hope I have energy today, or I have motivation today, things that they have, right? I have creativity so I can write today or make videos, or I have memory, or I have focus or concentration. Those aren't things you have, those are things you do. And so you don't have love, you do loving things. You don't have energy, you do things that give you energy. Just like that applies, same thing with learning. You don't have focus, there's a process for doing focus. You don't have a memory, there's steps to improve your memory or to remember things better. Creativity is not something you have, there's actually a process for creativity. When you're training for Ironman and triathlons and everything else, is how much of it is mental. Like we know, like everyone knows what to do, but do they do what they know? Because common sense is not common practice. And it's a myth that knowledge is power. Knowledge it has the potential to be power. It only becomes power when we use it, when we apply it. I write down the 3 things I want to accomplish the next day personally, and the other 3 are professionally. So now when I wake up, I have a vision for my life. This is a win today if I just get these 3 things done personally and 3 things professionally. And then when it comes to my phone, I don't touch my phone until I get at least 1 thing done. And that's my test. If I could just do that. And it's not always perfect, but it's about progress, right? Because practice makes progress, right? And there's never going to be a perfect. Maybe for 1 week, keep your phone outside your bedroom for just 1 week and don't touch it for the first hour a day, and spend the first hour a day being a thermostat, not a thermometer. Because a thermometer, what's a function? It reacts to the environment. And that's a kind of crappy way to live. With great power comes great responsibility, right? And we all know that, right? We've all finished the phrase because it's in our DNA. It's like the hero's journey, right? Joseph Campbell's work, going from struggle to service and such. And I was like, I have learning challenges, right? That I'm still I have dyslexia, and I reverse everything in my mind sometimes. And so what I heard was different. And I was like, Stan, you're right. With great power comes great responsibility. And the opposite is also true. With great responsibility comes great power. That when we take responsibility for something, we have great power to make things better. And most people, they don't want to take responsibility because of that extra weight. But I'm saying that responsibility will give you the power and the freedom. Right? All the studies show that the happiest people are the ones that feel like they have the control over their happiness and not put it to somebody else, a person or a place or something going on in the economy or politics or anything, right? Your brain is like a supercomputer, and your self-talk is the program it will run. So if you tell yourself you're not good at remembering names, you will not remember the name of the next person you meet because you program your supercomputer not to. And your mind is always listening. And here's the thing, when you say, I'm forgetful, or I'm not smart enough, or whatever, if you fight for your limitations, you get to keep them. Again, people get so addicted to these things like, complaining and whatever you're rehearsing, you're literally rewiring your brain to get more of that. All behavior is belief driven. Because every time you're rehearsing, oh, I'm scared of public speaking, you do it over and over again, not only do you get the fear of it every single time, because your mind doesn't know the difference between something you vividly imagine and something that's real. Literally, if you were to put on a brain sensing device, the same parts of your brain that would light up if a dog walked in, you see what parts of your brain lights up, and if you imagine that dog walking in, the same exact parts of your brain will light up. So the mind doesn't know the difference. It's the most powerful tool you have is your imagination.